has to go, and the reason why he has resigned, his health reason, is what he sorted, which he has stated, but he appears to be extremely healthy.
Look, I tell you what, Marya ji, on this panel, in fact, no one knows for sure what has happened actually. We all are groping in the dark, so don't try to be Sherlock Holmes, because we'll end up as a goofy Karamchand. What I'm trying to simply say, if he has put down the paper citing some genuine reason, let's respect that. The government has accepted it, so there is no if and but. What I'm trying to say, why opposition suddenly is coming out this thing, that they have got a heart full of love for this gentleman. My point is, if you want to justify...
There is a constitutional crisis. Do you understand the import of the constitutional crisis, sir?
There is no constitutional crisis. You tell me, is there any hindrance in the working, in the day-to-day working of
There is an office that lies vacant.
No.
You don't see a constitutional crisis? There's an office that lies vacant with no reasons, no, sir.
Did I interrupt when you were talking? So why can't you be...
I didn't make inane arguments. I made valid arguments. You could not have interrupted.
At least show some courtesy, na? Let me finish up. You are not the anchor, Marya ji anchor, so he has got all the right to stop.
Boliye.
So Marya ji, what I'm trying to say, if there is, I don't see any crisis in the working of
You don't see any crisis, but
no.
There are a lot of people who are seeing crisis. K.N. Nehru, again, the point that has been made, what changed in the last 6 months? From bringing an impeachment motion to now where all of you seem to be praising him.
So let's just make it clear. I'm just going to join Supriya Madam in saying that we have been constant in our language, in our tone and tenor. What are we constant about? We have been very clear that the Constitution is the last word. It's not single person or law or anything else. It's the Constitution. Now, we have nothing against this individual, Honorable Vice President who has just resigned. We have got nothing against him. But we are just simply saying the law of the land is supreme. Now, what does the law of the land say? That the second most constitutional position, you cannot just simply wish away saying that there's no crisis. You cannot have an acting prime minister. You cannot have an acting chief justice. And it doesn't augur well for such a good democracy to have an acting vice president. So all that the opposition and the India Alliance is saying is just shed light on what had happened. And let's hope something like this never happens. There is respect for that office. Now, let's get into the reasons. Now, health issue seems suspect. He has, of course, had certain issues, and I do not want to go personally into health issues because it's not the right thing to do. But since he has occupied a constitutional position and he's been answerable to the public, we don't accept, or basically it's not being accepting. The health reason is just suspect. Second, the timing. The timing is also very, I think, crucial here. Now, the ruling party, the treasury benches, has always said the opposition seems to be raising untenable issues when the prime minister is out of the country. And you're supposed to be supporting the government and the treasury to show support to the prime minister who's away from the country. Now, prime minister on the eve of his visit, especially with so many bills pending, how can a vice president, the number 2 constitutional position, just resign? I don't think that opposition trying here is to undermine anything. I think we are going to be very supportive of this constitutional position and expecting reasons. I think expecting reason is just a fair ask in democracy.
Okay.
I think it's not about criticism. It is not about any issue or anything that's burning out. But what? Why? I mean, we just want to know because it's a second constitutional position.
Yes. What? Why is something that should be answered, K.C. Tyagi. You're an alliance partner.
मारिया जी, उनका इस्तीफ़ा जिन परिस्थितियों में हुआ है उसको मैंने आश्चर्यजनक भी बताया और मैं उसको लेकर व्यक्तिगत तौर पे दुखी हूँ। लेकिन जितनी चर्चाओं और अफवाहों का बाज़ार गर्म है, मैं उससे डिसएग्री करता हूँ। संसद के अंदर जो राज्यसभा में मेरे साथी रहे होंगे वो जानते होंगे, जितना गवर्नमेंट को, गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज़ को, गवर्नमेंट पर अटैक को जितनी मजबूती के साथ धनखड़ साहब ने डिफेंड किया था, उसको लेकर के कांग्रेस प्लस के जो हमारे मित्र थे वो उनसे नाराज़ भी थे और दुखी भी थे, जो आज उनकी हिमायत में बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। लिहाजा उन्होंने खुद ये नहीं कहा है कि वो किन कारणों से इस्तीफ़ा दे रहे हैं। उन्होंने और कोई वजह नहीं बताई है। ये चीज़ें बाद में आएंगी। हम सारे स्पेकुलेशंस पे बातचीत कर रहे हैं। अब दिक्कत क्या होगी है कि वो उपराष्ट्रपति तो उनको हमने बनाया और हमारे जो विरोधी साथी हैं वो आजकल उनके बड़े हमदर्द बन गए हैं। जो लोग उनके इस्तीफे की डिमांड करते रहे और कोई दिन नहीं जाता था। और मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ, मैंने कुरियन साहब के साथ भी काम किया है, वो कांग्रेस पार्टी के एमपी थे। मैं जब लोकसभा में था तो वो कांग्रेस पार्टी के लोकसभा में एमपी थे, लेकिन उनको लेकर के कभी कोई असुविधाजनक परिस्थिति बीजेपी के साथ नहीं हुई जैसी धनखड़ साहब के साथ हुई। धनखड़ साहब ने सरकार के पक्ष को, व्यू पॉइंट्स को बहुत मजबूती के साथ संसद में उठाया। लिहाजा जो थ्योरी चल रही है कि कोई कन्फ्रंटेशन है, मुझे उसमें कोई तथ्य नजर नहीं आता।
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Marya, I have a very brief point to make, and I'm not trying to take pot shots. The fact that the BJP is not a part of this debate tells you what has happened. I again go back and say, I am not here defending Mr. Dhankhar because I have a lot of bone to pick with him personally as a citizen of this country. Mr. Tyagi is absolutely right. He put across the point of the government very forcefully. But was he meant to? Was that his job? He was supposed to be bipartisan. There were times when he would even expunged details from Mr. Kharge's speech. He would interfere repeatedly when the leader of the opposition, Rajya Sabha, spoke. I have no love for Mr. Dhankhar's style of functioning as vice president. I have love for the position which he was on, and I have concerns on the kind of constitutional compromise that is happening with various positions. I'm asking you a question. Why did Urjit Patel resign? Has anybody asked that question after demonetization? Why did Ashok Lavasa quit and go to ADB? He was an election commissioner. Why did Mr. Dhankhar quit? And I will go back and say, anybody who believes he was unwell, I'm not casting aspersions. Was he unwell? I wish him a long, healthy life. But even if he had some health issues, you think these health issues cannot be dealt with while being in the chair? I mean, India's healthcare system, especially for people in parliament and people in constitutional positions, is very good. I think this government owes an explanation to the parliament and the people of this country that why did the second most important constitutional position lie vacant today? And one important thing that I want to say here, you had a former governor appointed by the BJP, Mr. Satyapal Malik, become very critical of them. He was very, very critical, and he was very, very critical of the stand that the BJP has taken on farm issues. The BJP has continuously alienated the farming community of this country, whether it was the 3 laws that they tried to shove down their throats or otherwise. And Mr. Dhankhar had also begun to talk a little critically about the farming laws and the farming stand on MSP and things the government has. Is it yet another farmer who has met the fate that Mr. Satyapal Malik met, fall out of favor with the government? I think that's also something worth discussing.
Okay. Professor Sajjan Kumar, as someone who is a keen watcher of political developments, how do you see this entire 24 hours? It was around this time last evening that the resignation news came in.
Yes, I mean, perceptions underwent a paradigm shift. Initially, certainly at 9:30, the news came. It was a surprise, but nevertheless, the first reaction was to trust the letter of the vice president, because there has been sudden announcement like this, say for example by Sushil Kumar Modi, Arun Jaitley, and lots many other leaders. This is one. Two, by morning certainly one expected the treasury benches and the government to come up with certain statement, because being a senior leader, being holding the constitutional post, if certainly the health crisis is so serious that he has to resign at 9:30, then one expects a cordial statement and response. And when that did not come, even when the session today started at 11 a.m., some speculation space was there. Whether that's right or wrong, the speculation is not the point. The point is that the space for the speculation emerged therein. And most importantly, if you do the content analysis of the Prime Minister tweet and compare that with the tweets he made today with regard to other leaders, for example, the former Kerala Chief Minister, Ajit Pawar in Maharashtra, etc., then the tweet was quite brief with regard to the Dhankhar, and certainly one expected more warmth. So that is why the speculation remains, the space is there. So this is about the sort of how do we see the changing perceptions. And I'm not talking about the ones who are embedded to certain party position. This is about how you try to guess and connect the dots. That
so
is
are
one
you then saying that there's lots to be answered, and particularly there's a lot of intrigue around this?
that seems
And that should be addressed.
That seems to be the case, and certainly the treasury benches seems to be doing not a very kind of serious and customized job, because expectation is to come clean, because this is a matter of a constitutional post, and therefore people certainly wants to know. And in that regard, one need the ruling party and the treasury benches should come up with a sort of explanation, because the vice president is not speaking, he is not coming up with any supplementary position, and that keeps the people kind of guessing. But here one important aspect, Marya, is that this is there is some serious aspect herein, and KC Tyagi sir will concur with me, because this aspect, this crisis that we see today, right?
Yes.
Whether of perception or reality, involves two aspects. One, the parties, ruling party, and the constitutional post and the person who are accompanying that. And this kind of a chemistry and conflict between the party and the people holding the constitutional post is nothing new, and it remains, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Now it's Vice President Dhankhar. You remember 2008, it was Somnath Chatterjee, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. You go back in the past, President Gyani Jail Singh and Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, go back. Then you have V.V. Giri and Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy way back in 1969. So it seems that whenever there is a conflict between the person who is holding the constitutional position and the party leadership, ruling party leadership, it's always that the party has an upper hand, and this is not a good signal for institutional health of democracy in India, and this remains true for all the parties to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
One point before I bring in Supriya, I want to bring in KN Nehru now. Lok Sabha MP, what sources in the government are telling us, Mr. Nehru, that of course this was about that impeachment motion which was accepted by the outgoing vice president in the Rajya Sabha, when the government's strategy was to bring it in the Lok Sabha. One may say that because of how critical and crucial this impeachment motion against Justice Verma is, it would be only fair for that kind of coordination to having been expected between the chair and treasury benches.
Madam, let's understand one thing, that this particular episode of the impeachment of sitting judge was actually broached by the ruling government and the treasury benches.
Yes.
And the Congress also voiced its support, because saying that the proper procedure must be followed, and we will support if there is wrong, and we will support it. Now you have a VP who has taken the treasury benches line, and for a simple ego, saying for doing the right thing, that when the opposition's motion was accepted, if for a simple ego, let's believe that the treasury benches were right, let's believe what the ruling party is saying is right, I don't think it augurs well for a vibrant democracy like India to act on a whim of an ego just because the opposition's motion was right. And we also must understand that the important point to note here is about a week and 10 days ago, Mr. Haribhushan Thakur, who's an MLA from JDU, I'm not pointing out right or wrong here, had coincidentally mentioned that Nitish ji should also be felicitated as VP. Now, we're just trying to connect the dots here. Nobody knows, as Professor Sajjan and Professor Vineet also had mentioned, nobody knows the entire facts. But let's not even get anything personal here. This is a constitutional
so the point that you have made about Nitish Kumar as a potential vice president, KC Tyagi would be able to respond to that.
Right. Let me finish. Okay.
Yes,
Tyagi
please. Go ahead, Mr. Nehru.
Yes. So I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to project something here, but it's just a connection of events. Nothing happens in a standalone manner. There are things that happen afterwards. There are things that happen before. But what we have to understand here is, I am not casting aspersions. All that we are asking is a simple explanation, and we hope that a constitutional position shouldn't be, handled like this after.
Okay. KC Tyagi? Of course, there's a lot of buzz in the corridors of power. 2 months to go for the Bihar elections. Will the vice president's chair then be filled just ahead of the winter session? That's also a speculation.
मारिया जी, एक तो जो मेरे दोस्त हैं डीएमके के, मैं उनको करेक्ट करना चाहता हूं, हरिभूषण ठाकुर जी इज द मेंबर ऑफ द बीजेपी लेजिस्लेटिव पार्टी, 1 2 ये खबर जब अखबार में छपी कि नीतीश कुमार जी उपराष्ट्रपति बनते हैं, तो हरिभूषण ठाकुर ने कहा तो बिहार के लिए गौरव की बात होगी। मैं आपके चैनल से, अपनी पार्टी की तरफ से बहुत क्लियर करना चाहता हूं कि वो दिल्ली में किसी पद के दावेदार नहीं हैं। वो बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, एनडीए के कैंडिडेट हैं, और एनडीए के चुनाव जीतने के बाद ही जिसकी संभावनाएं हैं वो ही वहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे। इसलिए उपराष्ट्रपति पद के लिए उनके लिए ना हमारे मन में कोई इच्छा है और ना वो चाहते हैं।
Okay.
Marya?
Supriya, you get the last word on the last word tonight.
No. I don't want to have the last word. I just want to point out one date. It was the 9th of February 2021. Ghulam Nabi Azad was retiring from parliament. And guess who was weeping and who was shedding tears and who got so emotional and choked? It was Mr. Modi. Now compare that choking and those tears for Ghulam Nabi Azad to what happens today, a cryptic 3-line tweet that he had got multiple opportunities and we wish him well. I also want to say one thing here, and I think all of us in public life should keep repeating this, that when you are in a constitutional position, the only guiding light for you has to be the Constitution of India. You don't have to bend backwards to make your political masters or politicians happy. You should do your job and do it well and with honesty. And I think that's a lesson one learns, because politicians cannot be made happy at all times. And look at this ugly fallout that seems to have happened. I'm not speculating, I'm not casting aspersions, but this is unceremonious, it's unprecedented, and it's also unnecessary, if I may.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
Professor Sajjan Kumar, Professor Vineet Singh, Supriya Shrinate, KC Tyagi, and KN Arun Nehru. Joining me now is Arvind Sawant, Member of Parliament of the Shiv Sena UBT faction. Mr. Sawant, of course, there is a lot of speculation that is doing the rounds. There is a lot of unanswered questions. One view is also coming that had Mr. Dhankhar grown really close to the opposition and started engaging too much with the opposition leaders, since you are a member of parliament yourself, did you see or sense any change in his behavior, particularly in the last few weeks?
It's not at all. He never become a darling of the opposition. Let it be very open on the subject. So do not create a narrative that yesterday you were in opposition, today has become darling. No, not at all. It's $1 million question. See, if he has ill health, why during the last 3 months of the last session, you can say, he did not resign? How you chose the first day of the session? And in the session, when he arrived in the morning in Rajya Sabha, he started conducting the business smoothly. He conducted the business. He was there on the chair. He allowed the opposition leader to speak on certain rules, where he has put up the issue of Pahalgam, which immediately hurt Mr. Nadda, the leader of the house. And the way he has replied to and tried to disturb the speech of the Mallikarjun Kharge ji, the opposition leader in the Rajya Sabha, that shows, he had an intention that the speaker should not have given an opportunity to LOP to speak out this issue. That was his first intention. This is what my observation is there. Then secondly, he was very much healthy. He was nice. He was saying, he was speaking very smoothly. There was no issue as such. Why the first day? Then another incident. He had a meeting where the opposition, the leader of the house and the parliament leader, minister of the parliamentary affairs was to meet him. Both of them did not go to his office and quietly said that we have informed their office. Is it not an insult to the vice president? Is it not an insult to the vice president? They could have gone and said, what was that very, very important work? Let the nation know that they did not have time to go to the appeal made by the vice president to approach them. I don't know. And then there was another issue when Mr. Dhankhar ji has announced or issued a notice that 4 o'clock there will be business advisory committee meeting. If he had an intention to resign, he would not have issued the notice for a business advisory committee at all.
Okay.
That shows there is something behind that.
Okay, when...
That proves there is something behind. He must have been forced to resign.
Mr. Sawant, since you are saying that he has been forced to resign, you're talking about a sequence of events which has made you question and perhaps come to this conjecture. Who would force him to resign? And why would he be really forced to resign?
Who runs the nation? Only two leaders. The Supreme Court judge retires and next day joins the Rajya Sabha. Who decides? Is it the President of India? You tell me. Is it the President of India decides? You tell me. The High Court judge from Calcutta, High Court judge, he resigns, next day joins BJP, contests the election, wins the election. How is it? Then what he must have done in the past? Was he as judicious when he was holding the post of a judge of a High Court? $1 million questions are there. Who is running the parliament? Who is running the country? Think of it, introspect, and you will get the answers to that.
Mr. Sawant, it's rather interesting that this is the same opposition which had called him a mouthpiece of the government. This is the same opposition which had brought an impeachment motion against Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar just 6 months ago, and now you are standing with him. How did this change of heart happen?
No, it's not a changing of stand, ma'am. Please, don't create this narrative at all. He was never ever the darling of the Rajya Sabha. We used to meet a member of the Rajya Sabha. He used to work for BJP itself. But then, sudden resignation of the constitutional post, which is holding number 2 post in the country. It's not a Tom, Dick, Harry. Who is resigning? Vice President. Who is attending the office, conducting the business, sitting on the chair, and suddenly by evening you come to me, resign on ill health. If it is so, why not before the session launch? Why on the first day? Why you chose the first day of the session? There was no reason. Of late he had been to JNU. While addressing the students of the JNU, he said, I'll retire, not resign. I'll retire in 2027. The man who said he'll retire in 2027 resigns in 2025. Just think of it. Therefore, nation should come. I believe Dhankar is always used to say himself, I am a Kisan ka beta. And take it from here, day will come. Honorable Dhankarji will say what was the reason that he has resigned.
It's a lot of questions,
he
but
cannot keep silent for all the time. And the way BJP's silence speaks a volume.
of course, Mr. Sawant, as an opposition leader, you will be raising those questions and you have asked a lot of questions. But one thing is clear, that Jagdeep Dhankhar, did he perhaps make a move which triggered this, chain of events, ultimately leading to his resignation?
No, not at all. He is that sort of man, we could guess it. I have met him twice.
No, but he came very close to the opposition.
Friendly, open man.
He would meet all of you
regularly. Something close inside it. Had he want to resign, he would have said it in the house itself. Today is my last day. I have come. I am not feeling well. I will conduct the business. Please cooperate me. This is my last day. I want to resign. He would have said it. I tell you. He is that sort of man. He would have said it in the house itself. He never uttered a single word. On the contrary, and wanted to conduct the business of advisory committee meeting in the evening. There lies the issue. Thank you.
All right, Arvind Sawant, I appreciate your time. On that note, we are slipping into a short break from one intrigue to another. We'll be shifting focus to what really is happening and what is the equation now between Congress MP Dr. Shashi Tharoor and his political party. We'll try and get more details on that.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer Fenesta.
Gaikwad is running away from NDTV's questions.
That issue is not before the High Command. It was not discussed so far.
Kolhapuri chappals costing $1,300.
The noise we made finally got heard, and it's so nice that somebody took action on it.
Pictures and videos of women that were taken in the Bengaluru metro, now on Church Street and other prominent places in Bengaluru. We managed to arrest both of them.
We are bringing you now, for the very first time, is that the Air India preliminary crash report is out.
This 15-page report into 10 key findings of what really is being said in this probe report.
What's reporting without impact?
The Congress Shashi Tharoor problem seems to be just getting bigger, and it exploded again Tuesday afternoon after the Lok Sabha MP snapped back at critics, in this case K. Muralidharan. Though he did not name the senior Congress leader from Kerala, and he is not with us declaration. On Sunday, in fact, K. Muralidharan, if you remember, a 4-time former MP and 2-time former MLA, had said that Dr. Shashi Tharoor would no longer be welcome to party programs in Kerala till he reverses comments made after the Pahalgam terror attack in April and India's subsequent military response in Operation Sindoor. Today, Tharoor snapped back and said that the leaders should have some basis for making such comments. The Congress Tharoor saga has only gotten more and more intrigue as it has done in the past, and has it come to a point of no return? Let's listen in to what the two leaders said, and then I bring in the guests.
First of all, it seems to me that the people saying this also have to have a basis for saying this. Who are they? What is their party position? I'd like to know. Then we'll see what the answers will be.
No, why they have said so statement in your dedication?
See, don't ask me to explain other people's behavior. You talk to them about their behavior. I can only talk about my own behavior. I've explained my behavior and I'll leave it there.
In Kerala, people, we are very much upset for his performance. Especially the 4th time he was elected from Thiruvananthapuram. Lot of party workers sacrificed for his victory. But he is not coming his conscience also now. The last 2 months he was far away from this constituency. So we decided that in the coming local body election, we are not ready to cooperate with him. Otherwise, High Command, if High Command did give any direction, we will obey that. But now our stand is, we are not cooperate with him.
Siddharth Yadav is the spokesperson of the BJP. Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst who supports the Congress. Rashid Kidwai is a senior journalist. Rashid, isn't the Congress becoming, going ahead with this repeated statements the leaders are continuing to make against Dr. Tharoor, making it worse? Why are they not holding back their views? And why is the senior leadership or the Congress High Command not telling that to the Kerala unit?
So, Marya, it seems that in Congress, everybody is happy to be an MP. See, this is what leadership is all about. So, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and Mallikarjun Kharge, who represents a kind of political leadership of the party, must intervene. Whatever be the position, but this kind of deadlock or one-upmanship that we see between Kerala unit of the party and Mr. Shashi Tharoor is not helping party's cause. And Marya, as we know, there is going to be assembly elections early next year. And one of the surveys has indicated that, Mr. Tharoor's face is a chief ministerial face, while the Congress is poised to, defeat the LDF government there. But this kind of masterly inactivity, inaction is hurting the Congress a lot. And for instance, Sonia Gandhi is beating Revanth Reddy tomorrow. She can call, she can summon Shashi Tharoor also. And I'm sure Mr. Tharoor will heed to whatever Sonia Gandhi would tell him. And that the same applies to K. Muralidharan also. So nobody is talking. Everybody is sort of, enjoying and having fun. Deepa Das Munshi is the AICC General Secretary in charge. She's also not. In fact, some of the allies, Marya, who are part of UDF, they are very much concerned, and they've written letter and they're verbally telling her to do something. But it seems Congress has learned very little lessons from its defeat in Haryana and in Maharashtra.
Yes, it's an unfortunate turn of events, Tehseen Poonawalla. The Congress High Command must intervene and ensure that these statements which are continuing to come from Kerala unit have to stop. You're looking at a senior party man who's a dyed-in-the-wool Congress leader.
Marya, thank you so much for having me on the show. Good evening to you, to all my fellow panelists, and to all your viewers. There are two aspects to this, and I completely agree with what you opened with. That look, Dr. Tharoor is a Congress member of Parliament, a 4-time Lok Sabha elected member of Parliament. Now, I do understand that there may be some surveys that portray him as the chief ministerial face. Others in the party, in the local unit or state unit, may feel he cannot be the chief ministerial face. And that's perfectly normal and a democratic process in a political party. But what is not normal is, for example, somebody in Delhi who cannot win a society election taking pot shots at Mr. Tharoor or those whose prominence comes from probably tweeting something. They should not be the ones who should be attacking Dr. Tharoor. The slight smile on Rashid's face shows that Rashid knows exactly what I'm saying. And he's a veteran Congress. He covers Congress as a veteran. But let me come to the point at hand. The point is that, look, this is not good for the party. Dr. Tharoor does bring certain extra votes to the Congress, which are people who are comfortable voting the BJP. They tend to come towards Dr. Tharoor. He has his own base, which is a middle class base, an aspiring India base, a young base. And what did Dr. Tharoor do wrong? If you look at it objectively, the Prime Minister asked a number of members of Parliament to represent India. They weren't representing a political party. And look, if I was tomorrow a member of Parliament and I'm abroad, you put India first. You don't, in that sense of it, go about, making political statements about parties when you're abroad representing the country. So I think he did a fantastic job. We saw that was successful in the United States of America. His outreach at Marco Rubio, the Prime Minister and Milind Deora's outreach with J.D. Vance and the Prime Minister's equation with J.D. Vance that got TRF sanctioned as the Lashkar-e-Toiba, and now the UN will obviously condemn that. I think it was successful. And if I was running a political party, the best thing would be to take credit for it. If you're running an NGO, you will do these fights. But if you're running a political party, this was on a platter for the Congress, particularly after TRF was branded as a terrorist organization. Congress could have taken all that credit and it was there for Congress to take. But like Haryana, like Maharashtra, I don't understand sometimes, are they doing politics or is it a NGO?
Siddharth Yadav, of course, the BJP has little stake in this story, but the fact is that all his moves are being seen as pro-government or pro-Prime Minister Modi's decision, particularly in the context of Operation Sindoor. And many would say that he is being a nationalist, and rightly so. At a time when India has to appear united, Dr. Tharoor had taken a stand for India.
Marya, I think it's going to take a little while for me to digest the scene comparing Congress party with an NGO. But while I do that, I think the real problem lies within the Congress party itself. If being a nationalist is being pro-Modi, then I think it's somebody else's problem. Because if any member of parliament comes out and stands with the position of our country and represents our country in the best of their ability, I think, that's what all of us are expected to do. But we have known Congress party of, having different factions. There's a Tharoor Congress party, there's a Rahul Gandhi Congress party. Now what's happening in Kerala, where a few leaders probably are trying to bootleg the other side and trying to show their loyalty to the top brass, the top leadership, which Mallikarjun Kharge refers to. I don't know it is because of that or because of something else. But whatever the reason may be, I think if anybody, and be it a member of political party or any citizen, and I speak this as a citizen of our country, is subject to such hatred within their own party for standing for a position which is taken to strengthen India's position at a global stage. I think there are a lot of problems in the Congress party that they need to fix. When someone goes out and stands in favor of our country, everybody should come out and not get jealous about it. But having said that, this is the old story of Congress party, which runs with various fractions, be it Haryana, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Kerala, be it any state. There are a lot of Congress parties in one Congress party. And I think this is one such problem.
Yes. So, Rashid.
Marya?
Yes, go ahead, Tehseen.
See, in every political party, including the BJP, and you know this, Marya, more than others, there are rivalries. And that happens, for example, in Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji continues with Mohan Yadav ji. You know what's happening in Rajasthan. I'm not putting, that's what politics is about. You will obviously have dreams and aspirations and you want to go ahead. That's fine. I think where you missed the trick, where a political party is missing the trick, is Operation Sindoor was seen as a nationalistic issue. Number two, the Congress was the original nationalistic party. It should not lose that phase of being a nationalistic party. But I think the most important thing is, while you have these rivalries, and it's fine to have these rivalries and these desire to go ahead, what the leadership must do is make sure everyone is accommodated. So if Dr. Tharoor cannot be the face of Kerala Congress as a chief minister, and I understand that, there's nothing wrong in that, maybe we can accommodate him in the center. Maybe he opens the debate on Operation Sindoor or Pahalgam and asks the government with the kind of, what the kind of heft he's now carrying. He can ask the government questions on the intelligence failure in Pahalgam. He's such an articulate speaker. So I think leadership is also about fixing the rivalries that are there. And I hope Kharge ji can reach out and not allow this to go bad, particularly in Kerala, because there is even an aspirational crowd in Kerala that would want to come with the Congress at this moment. So I think that we should look at how to solve this.
Yes, and the Congress party, Rashid, has lost several leaders to this internal bickering or internal fighting. The last that it can do, I would say the least that it can do, it can't really afford any more fights of this nature. To lose Dr. Shashi Tharoor to some leader who is making some random comment that he will not be participating in party work when the elections are scheduled for next year.
See, Marya, first of all, we must understand that one-upmanship, factionalism is very much part and parcel of every political party. Whether the BJP would like to admit it or not, they have Subramaniam Swamy. Every day he says something. I can turn around, Marya, and ask what is BJP leadership is doing about a party MP called Subramaniam Swamy. They are also not doing anything. They are allowing Mr. Swamy.
A party MP.
Okay, ex-MP, but he's a part of BJP. He's not been expelled. There is no disciplinary action has been taken against him. What I'm saying is, and there is no comparison between a case of Shashi Tharoor and Subramaniam Swamy. The point I'm making, the Congress must point out that areas where Mr. Shashi Tharoor has crossed that Lakshman Rekha of party discipline. And here lies the problem, because Mr. Tharoor's pronouncements are largely political in nature. He has not said anything that can be dubbed as anti-party activity. And that is why you see the top leadership, that being Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, they have kept quiet. It is a sort of proxy battle that is going on. The biggest problem in the Congress is that there is no mechanism to deal with such situation. The party General Secretary organization, Mr. K.C. Venugopal, is himself an aspirant to become Chief Minister of Kerala, including Mr. Tharoor. So the entire context of Tharoor's pronouncements and the counter sort of offensive against Tharoor lies in Kerala politics, where the Congress has to decide who's the leader, who's the Chief Minister phase, who will become. Marya, you have covered politics. You have seen what happened in Madhya Pradesh, what happened in Rajasthan, or even Chhattisgarh, where there was a where the Congress was in power in these three states, there were two power centers, and they kept fighting, and the leadership looked the other way. So there was disaster in Madhya Pradesh.
So are you saying that there is a disaster in waiting also in the context of Kerala? Because these comments from the Kerala unit is not stopping, and neither has there been an effort, I would say, visible effort by the central leadership to address this or silence those who are speaking against Dr. Tharoor.
So, Marya, Mr. Tharoor is very happy. He is hosting a mango party, and he's getting all the attention, media attention, and otherwise. Every time he speaks, I hear him very carefully, and I don't see him crossing the Lakshman Rekha party discipline. It is the anti-Tharoor faction in Kerala which has problems. And none of them have brought it. So there is a party disciplinary committee headed by Tariq Anwar and the several members. Nobody has complained. So that is why I started saying that in Congress, everybody seems to be, happy to be unhappy.
So in Congress, everybody seems to be happy to be unhappy. And what is the BJP thinking about this unhappiness or happiness here? Siddharth.
No, Marya, I think my friend Tehseen was suggesting that there's something that has to be done from Mallikarjun Kharge, but I don't think the problem lies with Mallikarjun Kharge, and neither does the solution lies with him. The problem is, one has to accept that Congress party is more of a family party today. And the problem lies, I think, began very well when Shashi Tharoor had decided, in the democratic sense of things, to stand against Rahul Gandhi for the post of National President of the Congress Party. Now, once he decided to do so, knowing the nature of Congress Party's first family and their background of a mindset of imposing emergency, it's very well known that it's very hard to accept for them for accepting Shashi Tharoor's increasing stature in the party and in the country. But what is most unfortunate is that when one leader chooses to represent India and take the position, the stance of India on a global stage, if that is taken as a ground of being uncomfortable with that leader within the own party, I think that shows the mentality of the Congress Party and their current leadership. Things, they want to fix it or not, it's up to the Congress Party. But the ground that they have taken for their displeasure definitely is, not very well for our democracy.
There's lots left to be heard on that story, and that mango party that Rashid was referring to will happen perhaps very soon, Rashid. And we'll get details of that mango party as well, which is being hosted by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Siddharth Yadav, Tehseen Poonawala, and Rashid Kidwai. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. That's all from me on this edition of The Last Word. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग
Finer Fenesta.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry, and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools, and lead with impact. Starts August the 23rd. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I
or
hold
CDSL
for the long term? Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Good evening. The former Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar's sudden resignation last night at about this time, citing health concerns, has sparked a political firestorm and intense speculation. The Congress and opposition parties questioned the official narrative, pointing to Dhankhar's active participation in Rajya Sabha meetings just hours before, with some alleging deeper political motives. Sources suggest tensions flared when Dhankhar accepted an opposition-backed impeachment motion against Delhi High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Verma, catching the government off guard and reportedly leading to a heated exchange with BJP leaders. Now, posts on X and opposition leaders hint at a possible government push to sideline Dhankhar, with some claiming that he preempted an impeachment move by resigning. Now, Prime Minister Modi did praise Dhankhar's service, while President Murmu accepted his resignation. As the NDA huddles to name a new vice president, questions linger. Was this health-driven, or was this a political sign, and a big one at that? Next up on the show, love it or loathe it, the MiG-21 has been synonymous with the Indian Air Force for a whopping 62 years. Now, all these decades later, the jet is set to exit the IAF next month. On the show tonight, the former Vice Chief of the Indian Air Force, Air Marshal Anil Khosla, a man who's flown 5 variants of the MiG-21, on the legacy of the fighter, and yes, tough questions as well on its safety record. But let's go and start right away with the big political story that we've been tracking since yesterday, the unexpected resignation of the Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankhar. 24 hours later, there is intense controversy on what may have triggered this. There are those who believe that there has been a huge disagreement with the BJP, details of which are only now slowly emerging. Earlier on today, I did speak to a host of political leaders, including leaders from the BJD. Let's listen in.
So thanks very much for being with us. There's a great deal of confusion on why Jagdeep Dhankhar resigned as Vice President of India. And there is a sense that it could have to do with him not being aware or not going about the Justice Verma issue in a way that the government wanted him to, accepting perhaps the impeachment resolution or motion of the opposition instead. Do you believe that that was the fundamental issue which resulted in him choosing to resign?
Honestly, Vishnu, I think there are a lot of conjectures going around in the air currently. But let's give credence to what he has cited in his letter of resignation, which is on health grounds. And we all actually know, I personally know that he had health issues and he was being chided by his health experts and family doctors for being overtly stressing himself in political activities. But yes, it is intriguing because it came so suddenly. It was shocking, and the first day he could have probably done it before the session started. So there are theories, and one of them is that he accepted this notice. But I would personally think that let's give he's a high constitutional authority, and let's give credence to what he has stated in his letter.
So what happens now? Do you believe that there's going to be that process of the government setting its nominees? There's some sort of discussion possibly with the opposition. Are there any candidates that you see coming to the fore?
See, honestly speaking, unless this has been thought through from before, which I don't think, probably because in that case it would have happened in a more organized manner. The government will have to act quickly because the election commission has to announce the elections, and the position cannot remain vacant for a long period of time. In the intervening period, probably the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha would be presiding over the entire session. And as regards finding an alternative suitable candidate, I'm sure the government machinery would be working on it.
As an experienced political leader, do you believe that we've heard the last of this, given the surprise that it's caused all of us?
I think no. There could be stories. The government could probably come out with a statement. The vice president himself may like to choose to become public in his feelings while taking this drastic step.
The reason I ask is because there is no farewell address. There is no ceremony of any sort. It's just at 9:30 p.m. last night, he put out a press release and he's gone as the Vice President of India. There was a fairly short message from the Prime Minister. The resignation has been accepted by the President. So it seems some would suggest that all is not well between the government and Mr. Dhankhar. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, firstly, I think to the first part of your question, as regards a farewell speech and a ceremonial kind of exit from the chair, the very fact that this is happening for the first time in the history of India would suggest that this was not thought through from before. This was definitely, kind of shocking for both the government and I think the entire House. And the second thing is that, yes, the situation has become very tense, probably because of what the government wanted and what the vice president probably didn't think the right way. But I must tell you this, that the vice president's position is supposed to be apolitical, and it is supposed to be completely independent. And I'm sure Mr. Dhankhar would have been exercising his duties and responsibilities, keeping that in mind. And I must also tell you that the opposition at one point of time had moved a no confidence motion against him. So it is not that he was the voice of the opposition. So there must be something.
In fact, quite to the contrary, he was extremely combative. There was, let's face it, no real love lost between him and the opposition. And clearly it appears that there are differences between him and the government as well. How would you look at his legacy? Just 2 years down, he's chosen to quit. But on so many issues, he's taken on the opposition, he's taken on the judiciary. He's had a fairly challenging equation with Mamata Banerjee when he was the Bengal governor as well. What do you see as the legacy of Jagdeep Dhankhar, and now he's gone?
Well, I think that was the man he is. Everybody is different. And for those 2 years that I was there in the parliament when he became the vice president and the chairman of Rajya Sabha, one thing that stood out is that he was not someone who was going to lie back and just watch the proceedings from the sidelines. He would like to make observations and interventions and bring his enormous judicial knowledge into the floor. So maybe that was very different. Honestly speaking, he brought a lot of erudition into the house. Some of it not liked by the opposition. Some of it may not have been liked by the government. But in the whole, I would probably think that he was a different vice president. I had seen Mr. Naidu, Venkaiah Naidu, when he was in the chair. He was very erudite too. But his way of conducting the house was very different than Mr. Dhankhar's. And Mr. Dhankhar's history in West Bengal would suggest that he was somebody who wanted to be in the thick of things. He was not somebody who would watch from the sidelines.
All right. Great speaking to you. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, joining us now, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, he's a fourth-term sitting MP, a member of the Congress Working Committee, and of course, one of the best-known lawyers in this country. Thanks so very much for being with us. Now, Dr. Singhvi, you often try to be diplomatic on my programs. You've got your ear very much to the ground. Some sources suggest that tensions flared when Mr. Dhankhar accepted an opposition-backed impeachment motion against the Delhi High Court Judge Yashwant Verma, and that apparently caught the government off guard. It reportedly led to a heated exchange with BJP leaders, and now he's gone. Is that your sense as well?
Okay, Vishnu, diplomatic, yes, but largely truthful and candid. And I don't think there is any